Hello everyone, welcome back to Creeper World 4. As I mentioned last week, we're back in the Colonies. We're going to do some maps by Hypnotic 22. And these are more in the, I would say, fairly moderate difficulty end. It depends on how you look at it, but they're definitely not oppressively hard, not pushovers either. But not all of his maps are hugely painful. So we're going to start with Tiny Hold. Got a couple quick ones here. So it's a quick little map if you can survive. And I have to, you know, I think it's hilarious some of the tags they put, or somebody tagged it as bad. I really wish people would tag things a little more specifically, because what does bad even mean? But first of all, let's just show like what happens if you try to do this conventionally. And it is, look, it's tiny. We've got to defend this for 5 minutes, and we've got to nullify this emitter, which is 30 every second. So a nice little bit of creeper there. So we're going to place down, our Rift Lab. And if we just sort of throw in, maybe we want to throw in a few towers, and then we'll start, by trying to get a cannon up here. Once that's done. And, well, yeah, that's not going to last very long. You can see we're already getting crushed less than 20 seconds in. There's a wall here that breaks. There's a wall there that breaks. And then we've got holes in here, and this is going to swarm, and we're going to fail the hold objective, and all is not good. So that's what happens if you aren't particularly careful. You do have to start, this is a map you have to start off correctly. Okay, so now let's try this the, what we might call the right way. And we're going to need to be very precise about where we place things, particularly at the beginning. Because, as we've seen, there's no real time to build a mortar or whatever like that. You have to be careful, and if you don't put things correctly, then you will get overrun again. So, if we were to put this Rift Lab down any further, no room for the weapon here. It has to be all the way up at the top. And then for our tower, this is the best place. You can see it's even with the right and the bottom side of the map. There's no tree here. It gets maximum income. And then in this area over here, to sort of get up this way, this right here is the best area that's going to get us the most reaping from it. So we're going to do those two. And I'm going to throw a cannon down here in a moment. And as it turns out, there is just enough time for this cannon to get up before it gets overwhelmed. You can see the creeper even making an end run around this too. So these little gaps that are easy to miss, but are very much there. It just goes up just in time, starts taking damage, but okay, now we're going to stop. I'm going to put up another tower. And I want to put as far left to the very edge of the map, so that is not far enough, this is. And if I push it up like this, then it actually has no connection. If you can see that, because of the Crazonium, which of course stops not only all creeper permanently, but all connections. And so we're going to put that there. That's going to get us the most benefit we can. Bingo. And then another cannon here, which is also going to destroy more of our trees, but that really can't be helped. I'm going to mess around with the supply here a bit, just to get that one a little bit more energy a little bit sooner. And this tower will provide another benefit to us in a moment. But first of all, we need to get this second cannon up, because one is not enough to stop the flow. So we really need two cannons. To the best of my knowledge, really the only option on this map. Okay. Now, this wall has given way, and we've got some creeper coming over here. But on the other hand, we are pushing this back. So the Rift Lab can sort of just tank a certain amount of that. Okay. Now I'm going to move this cannon in here, but I can't just move it anywhere, because like here, again, connections are blocked, even though it's close to the tower, it's blocked by the Crazonium. So I want to move over, and there. That's the closest spot I can move to where it still gets this connection through this busted down wall part of it here to our tower. So again, that's another point with having that tower in the position that it is. Alright, now we're going to clear all this out. Okay, and we're looking pretty good here. Now we're going to put up another tower. But, the question is sort of where. And this is probably about as good as we can do. I could try to move it over this way. I might be able to get away with that. I'll give it a shot. See if we'll be able to hold that position. I think we probably can. Okay. And then, now that that's up, we want to put in our nullifier. And then I'll just throw that here. So the packets are going to make their way in, around and back to this. And you've got a good amount of ammo. Let's go ahead and back off on that some. Okay, and then we'll turn it back on. These are both now fairly low on ammo. They're just trying to keep up with this, and the rest of the energy going to the nullifier. And we're at this point just got to kind of wait for it to do its thing. People have found ways to do this slightly faster, but we have victory. And now we're just waiting for the hold objective. So a relatively simple map, but not necessarily easy. You have to find the right solution in building out at the beginning because, again, if you're going to overrun about 20 seconds in, that can be problematic. So that's our first completed bit of fun. The other one I want to show is Blue Mountain here. And this is Hypnotic's first map that was uploaded to the Colonies for Creeper World 4. Just a simple map. And times, some have been 40-45 minutes, a lot in the 20 to 25 range, and then some just a few minutes. So all over the place in terms of that. And it can be done quite quickly or not. So it is very literally a blue mountain. We've got the creeper emitter here on the top, very pitted, hard to find good places to put everybody and approach that emitter. Then we've got all of the blue light around. We've got trees, we've got AC breeder. There's some flip breeder over here, and this is very much a Hypnotic specialty. Making breeder that is much stronger on the creeper side than the AC, so you really want to deny the creeper access to it. There's also one tiny little spot right there, which you can actually not even really see, but that is a flip breeder as well. Same strength, 70 creeper and the standard 6 anti-creeper. So where do you start on this? You start over here where you get more blue light, and there's a little bit of free-flowing AC here as well. Or do you start on this side and try to prevent the approach here? So I tried both sides, but ended up definitely concluding just going to go to the left side, ignore the right side, and eventually try to push our way up and get to that emitter. Of course, first of all, we will need the energy. And naturally, with all of this blue light, we're going to emphasize sprayers early on. Creeper moving out, filling in all of these holes. That's nice for us to a degree because it does slow it down, but of course it will be a problem later. Definitely gaining some very nice eco from the trees. And we're positive. So we're going to turn on the factory, and then these two side sprayers first. Of course, all these sprayers are on AC breeder patches. And perhaps we can turn on one more. And now we're using a bit of excess energy. There's the factory. Okay, you can go on. Now we're going to start with some cannons. Both sides. Okay, Okay, a little bit more. Maybe that's a little bit much. We'll see. Okay, now I'm going to want to go with terps. We'll stick with that for now. Let's lay this out. So what's my goal here? Well, I want to charge up this hillside and get to the emitter. And I could try to go like in between the arms like this. But instead of doing that, I'm going to try to just use a little wider area platform and just eliminate that mesh there. So I'm going to go with a height of 14. I'm going to put this right up at the edge of this bluite here, because we're not going to be able to terraform that area anyway. And we're just going to try to set this out all the way up. And just try to level that. And then if we can make that happen, get a platform, get a foothold, push forward. This is the idea. Let's see how well that actually works. I think I want to stay in the vertical view, though. So let's move forward. I'd like to concentrate some of my AC in this area. And I wonder, can I... Yeah, this is a good spot. I'd like to help clear that out. Okay, we definitely need more terps, because we have the energy. Maybe another one? And then they're going to gradually work their way. And we just need to sort of wait for them to do their thing. Now, it won't hurt me, of course, to try to extend a little more out these ways. But that's sort of a secondary objective. That's just to get me more energy to power everything. Okay, now this is starting to flatten out here. And I also need you to sort of move up. Maybe around these sides. Okay, there's a connection. That's enough to get you up there. Let's see if we can get sprayers up there now. Because right now there's just nothing for them to clear. There we go. See, now the AC is creating room. Alright, now let's get a cannon up there. We gradually want to expand our foothold, basically. We do have energy, so let's throw up some more terps. Whole bunch of them. And we can try to move those forward. Another cannon coming up there. So I need to be able to hit the mesh as well as throwing AC on top of this. And by this point, there are people who've already won the map. So this is not a hyper-fast approach. This is just a, let's get there and do this type of approach. Let's throw you up. And this mesh is now going away. By the way, the breeder only fires once every 3 minutes. So that's not a huge factor here. Let's move, to the extent we can, move these forward. Keep them in contact with what we're trying to do. Maybe even there. Don't know if that'll make it, but we have lots of terps. If I lose one or two, it's not a big deal. Let's get up here. and plow the path. And gradually moving it back. Okay, now we're in business. Now we're short on energy as well. But I just want to push this back. Throw cannons forward. And we're pretty close now. Not there yet, though. We've got a lot of Terps doing work here. We just gotta wait for them to level this off enough. There it is. So we're basically just leaving this. Yep, you're spewing again. We're leaving this side of the map. I mean, we don't care what it does. That's basically irrelevant to us. We are simply getting this nullifier up to the necessary point. And away we go. So that was Blue Mountain. Hope you've enjoyed this pair of maps by Hypnotic. And I'll be back next week with more Creeper World 4. Thanks for watching.